Hey friend, my name is Bryce Henson, CEO of Fit Body Bootcamp and one of your co-hosts here at the Fit Body Inside Look. Now this show is for our franchise partners and for those who are interested in joining our brand, where we execute meaningful interviews with our franchise partners, internal HQ team, coaches and clients to be able to provide you more insight and to get more acquainted with our brand and also to showcase the business opportunity available. Thanks so much and enjoy the episode. Hey, welcome friends. My name is Bryce Henson, CEO of Fit Body Bootcamp and the host of the Fit Body Inside Look. And this is the very first episode, the foundational episode, to give you some insight on why we're doing the YouTube series, what's all about, and what you can expect. So to take a step back, I'm going to give you the overview of my story, my journey as a Fit Body Bootcamp owner, coach, client, multi-location owner, director of coaching and profitability, vice president, CEO, and minority owner in the business. So it's been a whirlwind since joining the brand in 2012. So I'm going to give you that backstory to kick it off. But before I do, just to give you some context on why we're shooting and why I'm shooting this particular episode, and more than the episode, launching the YouTube series Fit Body Inside Look. And what's come to our attention, even our franchise partners, especially as we've experienced so much brand growth over the last few years, but new prospects coming to the brand are always curious, can you give us a little bit more insight into franchise partners or coaches or HQ teammates? Just want to get more insight, more information on what it's like to be in the Fit Body Bootcamp ethers, and primarily from our coaches and our new franchise partners joining, but also our old school franchise partners that have been in the brand many, or some I should say, since 2012 and on. So we were inspired. We wanted to shoot this and launch this YouTube series called the Fit Body Inside Look to give you just that, the inside look, the DNA, if you will, of what it's like to be within the Fit Body Bootcamp organization. So you're going to be hearing from me, from other franchise partners, from other coaches in the brand, from some clients as well, in addition to our HQ team. And that's going to be the vision of this particular YouTube series. So very excited to launch this with the first episode, giving you the origin story, my origin story as not only the host of the Fit Body Inside Look, but your CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of Fit Body Bootcamp. And my friends, it did not start out that way. In fact, the headline of my backstory is this guy that you're looking at used to be out of shape, used to be broke, and somehow transformed into the CEO of Fit Body Bootcamp, an international fitness franchise. And you might be asking, how did that happen? Well, I'm going to give you the story right now. So I always like to say I'm from the Midwest, and that's the most correct. However, the first 10 years of my life, I spent in Atlanta, Georgia, in a suburb of that. And one of my first households living with our father was a double-wide trailer park, not a very attractive place, termite infested. And that was not because of my mother, who's an amazing lady, salt of the earth lady, a very good person who's from Michigan. Unfortunately, my father was a drug addict, addicted to alcohol and gambling, not the trifecta for a good family upbringing. So the first decade or so of my life was very volatile, to say the least. And along with living with my mom, my two siblings, thankfully, by the grace of God, my mom got us out of that situation, fueled with drugs and alcohol and gambling, away from our father's grasp. And we moved to brighter pastures in the state of Michigan. And even that was very challenging because my mother, she had no visibility or no vision of having to raise three kids on her own. She had been out of the workforce for over 15 years. So thankfully, our grandma took us in. And for the better part of 10 years, we lived with our grandma. And my brother Barrett and I, who's our executive director of coaching, thick as thieves, and my best friend and also a business partner who oversees the coaching aspect of our brand, we lived in a room together. My grandma had her own room, and then my mom and my sister shared a room and actually a bed for the better part of 10 years. So it was humble beginnings for sure, up until it was about 2021 when my mom was getting on her feet, and bless her heart, she did everything she possibly could. So grateful for her. Learned about her work ethic and really the family focus and building relationships was so much value in those early years, even though they were very challenging. But that all said, with proper perspective, I like to say I grew up with humble beginnings for first world standards, which is different than third world standards. And later in my life, I was afforded the opportunity to live in South America And I saw the difference between first world and third world. And I think it's very important with proper perspective to never confuse the two. So in any case, you might be like me. You can relate to some part of the story, challenging, running out of money before you used to run out of month. That was the nomenclature, the standing operating procedure of my life up until I was about 20. But when I was 20 years young, the summer before I graduated from Michigan State, I got a job opportunity. It was an internship, which then eventually turned into a full-time job out in Los Angeles, California. So I was excited to, move out of state, get a different experience a different culture, even though, here in the States, Michigan and California are two completely different places for sure, culturally, topographically, geographically. And I was excited to be in LA, but something they don't necessarily tell you when you're 20, 21 years young, 3,000 miles from home, homesick, lack professional skills. You don't have enthusiasm. You don't have excitement. You don't have energy. You don't have fitness in your life, because the running joke I like to say would be, up until I was about 23 years old, I was allergic to lifting weights, and fast food, specifically Taco Bell, was a staple of my diet. So I think it's very comical that now being the CEO of this international fitness brand, it didn't start out that way, my friends. And was I obese? No, but I was definitely overweight. I was soft around the edges. I didn't have any skeletal muscle mass, or very little in my body. So I was excited to be in California. Being very candid with you, the first couple of years I had more dark days than good. And that changed by a fortuitous situation, which happened in the sense that one of my dear friends to this day, his name's Adam, and he moved out west. We went to college together. And a little bit about Adam: he had the six-pack abs, the glistening muscles. All the girls loved him. I certainly looked up to that. And he was my first fitness mentor, and we decided to live together for the better part of 2 years. And if you can believe, it took me a couple months to finally muster up enough courage to say, "Hey, Adam, can you teach me a little bit about this fitness game?" And Adam turned to me, he said, "Bryce, I thought you'd never ask, but I'm glad you did. But if we're going to do this, we're going to do this right." So what he did, he's made me give me his commitment for 12 weeks. I was going to lift what he wanted me to lift. I was going to eat the nutrition he wanted me to eat. And after the 12 weeks, we can make a decision if we want to move forward. Awesome. If not, well then, hey, at least gave it a good, fair shake. And that was the agreement. And I can remember, this is in early 2007. I still remember the first few weeks. I was so sore, my muscles, I could barely sit down to go to the bathroom. You might be able to relate to this if you joined a fitness regimen for the first time or haven't been in a long time. It's not easy, and that excitement, enthusiasm, quickly waned. However, I had Adam there for support and guidance. And really what Adam did, he introduced me to lifting weights, he introduced me to circuit training, but most importantly, he introduced me to coaching and accountability, of course, in addition to the nutrition coaching as well. And that coaching and accountability, that was the game changer for me, because I would love to look you in the eye and say, you know what, I'm that great of a person, I'm that disciplined, I would have done it myself. At the time, I can't say that I was. Thankfully, I've been able to develop, from a growth perspective, from a discipline perspective. But at that period of time, I can't say that I could look you in the eye and say I would have done it myself. So when I saw the Fit Body Bootcamp model a few years down the road, which I'll get to in a second, I knew, holy smokes, this worked for me. It'll work for other people. And I trained with Adam. We lived together for a better part of 2 years, but hyper-focused over the first 6 months is when I got the best result, or at least the most physical and visible result. I dropped 20 pounds of body fat. I put 20 pounds of lean muscle on, which I got the physique I was looking for. But way more important than that, it changed my life. It changed my outlook, my mental capacity, the way I showed up, my energy, my enthusiasm, my confidence. It just absolutely rocked my world. And I was so grateful for that. And but if you can believe, I didn't actually think of making fitness a career up until a couple years later, because my sales career actually skyrocketed. I went from the least performing sales rep in the company all the way to the highest performing sales rep in the company within 12 short months. And the only thing that changed wasn't the follow-up sales script, or wasn't the approach or the tactics. It was just the fitness. What fitness did from a foundational lens in my life, it absolutely changed my lens and my life. And that's why to this day, my friends, I am super passionate about what we do, health and fitness. Our mission here at Fit Body Bootcamp is to inspire fitness and change lives every day. And this is what fitness does. This is what the foundation of fitness can do. And this is why my team, myself, and I are so passionate to be on this journey with you. So in any case, after going through that transformation, having my sales career explode, as I was articulating, I never thought that I could make fitness a full-time focus or a career up until about 2 years into the gym in my transformation. Some guy walks up to me and he's like, "Hey, I want to introduce myself. I've been seeing how you lift weights. I'm curious how you eat, what your nutrition protocol is." And so I engaged with him, I coached him, and I gave him all the information I had, and I walked away, and like a lightning bolt, I thought to myself, holy smokes, like I could potentially give this gift of fitness back to other people. And my friend, that was really the first aha that I could enter in the health and wellness and fitness coaching space. But even at that point, I didn't think I could make it a full-time focus. I just thought I would, train some clients in the nights and weekends, give back, be fulfilled, and also earn some money on the side. And so that's what I set out to do. So I thought that I did the most logical next step, which would be to enroll in the National Academy of Sports Medicine, the Certified Personal Training Program, which is the gold standard in personal training, still our partner to this day here at Fit Body Bootcamp. So I get through my certification, and after I completed my certification, I was fired up. I picked up a few clients on the nights and weekends, and then I think I updated my Facebook profile, the Certified Personal Trainer, and I was excited at that. And then shortly after, here's what happened. I started receiving ads from this gentleman named Bedros Keuilian, who you might or might not know to be the founder of Fit Body Bootcamp, who now fast forward, since 2012 and meeting him, he's been, a dear friend of mine, a business partner, a mentor, and just a godsend in my life. So I started seeing his ads about how to launch a program, a fitness program, how to get clients better results, how to grow your business, and I thought that was very interesting. So I opted in and I started following along in this content, and I did that for a little period of time, and then I went on this life journey, life experience. I decided to move to South America. I always wanted to learn another language, test my mettle, become bilingual. I thought to myself, if I do this, that will give me, another layer of confidence. And I was so grateful that my foundational level of confidence gave me that opportunity. So I ended up moving there for 2 years, a little island in the very south of Brazil called Florianopolis, and met my wife, met my Brazilian mother, my Brazilian father, family. Ended up living with my wife, her mom, and her brother for the better part of 2 years. And this is amazing, transformative experience. I learned another language, Brazilian Portuguese, from scratch. I had this awesome life experience. I have a couple best friends from Brazil to this day. So it's been a whirlwind and such a grateful experience that fitness, my journey of fitness, gave me that foundation to do so. But after living there for 2 years, and I was still on Bedros' email list, and in early 2012, fast forward, and just to give you some perspective, my fitness transformation journey, meeting Ada, was 2007. So been in this game for a bit of time now, and 5 years had been passed, but by the time I went through my own transformation, my sales career skyrocketed. I went down to South America, and then in 2012, when I knew I was coming back stateside to California, I started paying attention to this little thing called Fit Body Bootcamp that was transforming from a licensee program all the way to a proper brick and mortar franchise system. So I put an expression of interest or an application, maybe like you watching this right now. I started doing research and diligence and watching videos and connecting with Bedros on social and reaching out to the handful of franchise partners we had in our brand at the time. And I was very excited at that. And as it turns out, in the summer of 2012, when I came back from abroad, I ended up having an opportunity to meet Bedros and the HQ team. And within 5 minutes of meeting Bedros, I knew this is exactly what I wanted to do. The team was there, the support system was there, and I did the most exciting but also the most terrifying decision of my life. I executed that, and I invested my life savings into this little dream of business ownership called Fit Body Bootcamp. And my friends, I'm going to give you the highlights, but there was a lot of lowlights and learning lessons throughout the way. But in 2012, launched my first location with my wife, Tatiana, at my side. And over a period of 5 years, actually from 2012 to 2018, 6 years, scaled to 5 locations, brought my wife on board, as I just articulated, my brother Barrett, who's our executive director of coaching and profitability, my sister, my mom, made this awesome family affair and built many camps, created many really strong communities. We inspire fitness, change lives, and did so many great things, till this day. And in fact, at the time of this recording, I still have one location, which has been a very godsend, for me. So in any case, and while I gave you the highlights, there was a lot of leadership learning lessons, entrepreneurial learning lessons. That's just part of business and life. Whether you're in a fitness journey or business journey, you're going to have detours, you're going to have setbacks, and I certainly had my fair share. But in 2018, when our brand, Fit Body Bootcamp, was really starting to grow in terms of exponential growth, Bedros reached out to me, and Bedros, our founder, is an incredible visionary. He's an incredible entrepreneur, and he did so many things to really elevate our brand. I'm so grateful. He's also not an operations guy. He'll be the first one to tell you that. And what he observed in a strong vision, he knew that he wanted more owner influence in the brand. And I had been successful. One of his most successful franchise partners had 5 locations here in Southern California. I developed a strong relationship with him, and he thought that I would be the guy for the job. So he reached out and extended the vice president role, which then eventually led to the CEO role. And I love Bedros. He's an incredible storyteller. He always shares, Bryce, I reached out, and 6 to 12 months he told me no. That is not the case, but I do want to give insight. At that time when he offered me the vice president role, I had 5 locations and my vision was 10. So I'm a hard-charging entrepreneur. I had my vision. I had my plan in place. So it took me a few months of having some conversations with him to really uncover the true essence of this particular opportunity. And really where the rubber met the road was, I realized I got in this business to inspire fitness and change lives every day. I'm a huge believer in fitness and transformation, and I always wanted to be successful, both monetarily, fulfillment perspective, but I didn't want to be only monetarily successful. If I did that, if that was my only desire, I would have probably went into a different industry like high banking or commercial real estate or something like that. And there's nothing wrong with those careers. But for me, I wanted to be very financially successful, which gratefully I can happy to report that I had been. But I also wanted to do it with something I love that really provided value in someone's life. And when I look at it to this day, there's no better gift you can give to someone than the gift of the foundation of their health and wellness. You can literally look at the most richest people in the world, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and if they don't have their health, if they don't have their fitness, guess what? They're not rich. And for me, that's really, really important. So this gift of fitness was given to me after hard work and determination, following a plan and coaching, but I was in pain, probably like you. And I wanted a better life. Initially, I took that first step from a fitness perspective, and then I took the leap to become a coach and a franchise partner, and also, to be able to develop a financial vehicle as well. And that's been my story, my journey, my growth. And I'm so grateful. In the summer of 2021, Bedros appointed me to be the Chief Executive Officer for Fit Body Bootcamp. So I share this with you just to show my passion towards the business, my passion towards serving, my passion towards health and fitness, inspiring fitness and changing lives. And this has been an incredible growth journey that I'm super grateful to be on with you. And I wanted to be able to open up and give you a little bit of context of who I am, why this is important, not only for me, but my team. And I feel so grateful that our team is our product here at Fit Body Bootcamp. And really over the coming weeks and months ahead, as we continue to shoot more content on the Fit Body Inside Look YouTube series, my goal and my promise to you is I'm going to give you an inside look of what it looks like to be a part of our organization. You're going to be hearing from other franchise partners and owners just like me, some that are single, some that have attacked the business, with their spouse. You're going to hear from coaches and nutrition coaches. You're going to hear from, people here supporting HQ. You're going to hear from a lot of different looks, if you will, as the inside look, to give you the proper understanding of who we are at Fit Body Bootcamp, the fabric, the culture, and if you're already in our brand, so you can, really have more insight to our brand. And if you're exploring our brand, so you have the proper insight, we can unveil the kimono and give you an inside look and really put the opportunity for you to make the best decision for you. But what I can tell you for me, this has been absolutely transformational. This has been life-changing, game-changing. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to be the host of this particular podcast series and to be the Chief Executive Officer for Fit Body Bootcamp, because what we do as an organization is truly magical. I've been in the business. I've seen so many evolutions and layers of it from, joining in 2012, the first year that we franchised, from being a fitness coach, from being the janitor, the bookkeeper, from being a client to this day, for being an owner, a multi-location owner as I kicked off, the vice president, and now the CEO, and also a minority owner. So I have a lot of different perspective, and my goal is to be able to provide you this perspective on this particular journey. So I want to end there, and I want to give you a reminder, as I always do and finish these episodes, that no one is coming to save you. You must save yourself, and the time is now. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next episode.